we're going to talk today about some friends who took care of another friend and brought their friend to Jesus. And I understand that you had a small group that did this really well. So can you share about that?
Yeah. When I was, let's see, probably 3 years or so into marriage, early 20s, didn't have good community with people at the time. And so I just started reaching out to people. And somehow there's a group about 7 of us that formed. And we really didn't have strong friendships before that. We just kind of decided we needed friends. We didn't have any. We were going to be friends. So we like sat down at a restaurant, got to know each other, and we're like, how do we encourage one another to walk with Christ, week in, week out? After we kind of started going, it was like all of our lives fell apart. In the span of 2 years, I think there were something like 6 or 7 miscarriages between all of us.
Wow.
Many jobs were lost by either us as women or our husbands. So there was job loss. There were women who got pregnant for the first time and had really, really bad morning sickness and other things. I mean, so it was like there were just regularly someone's life was falling apart. And because we'd kind of gone into this group as like, we're just going to decide to be there for each other. Gosh, it gave us just this intense season of practice. And so when one of our friends was really sick, being early on in her pregnancy, and she needed a root canal, she started having horrible mouth pain and she just couldn't do anything. So we all decided we're going to go over to her apartment. And we went over, we did a couple loads of laundry, we cleaned it for her, we put scripture on the wall, and then, part of my story is miscarriage. And at one point I was on bed rest in this season with my 3rd pregnancy before I miscarried. And Jimmy was out of town. So it was like, my doctor said, lay down and don't get up except to go to the bathroom. And I was like, okay, what am I going to do? So they took turns coming over and making dinner for me in my house, feeding me dinner, and then cleaning up dinner and leaving. I mean, it's so humbling to receive help like that. But we learned to do it for one another. And I wouldn't, it was really hard and painful, but I wouldn't trade it. Because we need each other. There are times when we can't do it on our own and we need someone else to carry us through it. That was a really special season that God had for all of us.
That is beautiful. Yeah, I remember being in a small group and we went to clean someone's house together as a group. We didn't know this person. We just knew there was a need and they were from our church. And my girlfriend and I said to each other secretly, like, oh my word, this house is way cleaner than my house. Like, there was nothing really that needed to be cleaned. And I'm like, okay, if this is the state that you need to have your house in order to call a small group from church, mine's never being touched by a small group. But what you're describing is something completely different than that. Like, that is really humbling to invite people into your mess, into your need, where you can't take care of yourself. And I think there is something really beautiful about people being humble enough to allow us into their lives and us being humble enough to receive others into our lives. And so we're going to see in this story some of that going on. We're going to be talking about the story of the paralytic who was healed by Jesus in Mark chapter 2. So Kelly, would you